Well, hello and welcome to our weekly look at Tiffin University football. Hi, everybody. I'm Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my right, head football coach Brett Ekkens. And, Coach, welcome back in. Always good to talk after a Dragon victory on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's great to get together and talk about all the keys from the game.
Yeah, and no more 4 o'clock kickoffs for us. I like that, too. Well, the Dragons took on Ohio Dominican last week with a 31-13 final score for your kids. And, Ohio Dominican's a team that we've had a lot of history with going back to the GLIAC days. And they kind of joined that Division II ranks about the same time we did. And that's a team that's given us a lot of trouble over the years. But over the last few years, the Dragons have been pretty successful against that club.
Yeah, they're a good football team, and Coach Cummings does a great job with their team, and specifically, they've got a tough defense, so we were happy to come away with the win.
Yeah, the Dragons end up 31-13 winner, as we said. And let's take a look at some of the numbers from last week. One of the big numbers, first downs, huge advantage for you guys. 19 first downs to 6 for them. I always ask you about goals and stuff. Is there a goal number for you as far as on the offensive side, first downs wise?
Yeah, anytime that you're nearing 50%, you're really good on third down conversions, and
you were just under that with 5 of 12, I think.
Yeah, and as far as first downs, you want to get as many as you can.
Yeah, more than the other team.
Yeah, we don't put a number on how many first downs we get, but we do put together some third down conversions that we want to hit, and honestly, anytime that you're in the 40s or nearing 50% on third downs, you're feeling pretty good about it. So.
Well, on the vice versa side, on the defensive side, you held your opponent to 1 of 13 last week, and that's got to make you feel pretty good about the effort from your kids.
Our defense played outstanding on Saturday, and that's one example, one statistic that proves that. And Coach Daniels had a great game plan, and our kids went out and executed it.
Another statistic that proves that as well is 23 carries for 33 yards for the Panthers, while the Dragons ran it 40 times for 204 yards. So huge discrepancy there. That means, sounds to me like just those numbers right there, line of scrimmage controlled by the Dragons on both sides of the football.
Yeah, our defense played outstanding, and any time that you go into a game, your first priority is to stop the other team from rushing the football, and we certainly did that. We want to keep people underneath their averages typically, and it was great to see our guys come out and play inspired football. And then on the flip side, when you can rush the football, we've talked a lot about Ron Blackman all year, but our ability to carry the football and be efficient in the run game helps us stay balanced on offense.
We'll talk about Ronald's numbers here in just a little bit. A lot of carries, kind of like your bell cow this past weekend. But let's just go back to the defense quick. The 23 carries for 33 yards on the ground. But then your secondary had a great game as well, only allowing 11 completions on 28 attempts and getting a pick as well, giving up 138 yards through the air.
Yeah, Chucky Lewis had a huge pick six coming out.
It's going to become a regular thing coming out of halftime.
That was a goal to get them to 3 and out or cause a turnover coming out of half, and our defense certainly did that. And Chucky, and then the guy that played outstanding was Malik Baker. They threw at him a number of times, and every single time he rose to the occasion. He didn't give up a catch all day.
Wow.
And that's tough to do at the corner position.
Yeah, he's been having a really nice year. It sounds like his progression is continuing week after week.
Yeah, and he's long, and we kind of knew going into the game that he would likely be challenged. We challenged him to have a great week of practice, and he did that, and then he went out on Saturday and he played well.
Dragons ran 70 plays for 422 yards, while the Panthers Ohio Dominican 51 plays for 171 yards. And I thought as well, field position, flipping the field when you aren't moving the ball on offense. I thought your punter, Mr. Weirs, did a pretty good job, averaging 44 yards per punt and pinning him down inside the 21s.
Yeah, Joseph's been great all year, and the ability when we do get held up to punt the ball and flip the field is huge. And honestly, as you look at that, going back to defense, with an early turnover and then some of the field position game that was played the first half, our defense played really well with their back against the wall. It was good in the second half to get out and win the field position battle and play traditional football like we want to.
Pretty clean game on both sides, penalties-wise. Only 3 for the Dragons, 2 for the Panthers. That's nice to see after some games that we've had earlier in the year, but keeps the game flowing. Nice, clean game like that.
Yeah, we're working hard to be more disciplined every week, and at times it really is. It's a testament to our guys and being dialed in and listening to coaching. Our goal is to have as few penalties as we can, and we'll take some effort penalties. One of those penalties was on purpose. We were trying to get the Ohio Dominican defense to jump off sides. If they didn't, we gave ourselves a little bit more room for the punt. But outside of that, we want to play as clean as we possibly can.
I know time of possession is a stat you look at, not the most important stat in the world, but you held the ball for almost a quarter longer than your opponent.
Yeah, and that one was one we saw on Sunday morning, and we smiled at that, But that's a stat that 15 years ago it really mattered. It was a huge point of emphasis for teams, and it's still a point of emphasis for us in the style that we play. We want to possess the ball, and we want to give our defense time to recover on the sideline, and we want to play an aggressive style of defense. So it's required to play team football.
Well, you get your defense some rest on the other side of the line, and when you're controlling the line of scrimmage like that and controlling the clock like that means your offensive line is doing a good job. And the offensive line loves wearing that defensive line down. Don't you know that for sure?
Yeah, they've done a good job of that all year, and the guys were really excited. They felt like the second half they came out specifically, and they felt like they had more in the tank to give, and it was awesome to see us break the game open there in the second half.
And you don't give a running back the ball 28 times and he gets 169 yards without the offensive line doing their job. You feel comfortable with the work they're doing to give the young man that ball out many times. 2 touchdowns as well. Also another one through the air for Ronald Blackman. Man, that young man, he was the first person I saw when I got in here today. He said hi to me, shook my hand, and he just continues to do the job for you.
Yeah, it's really a testament to the work that he's put in, and he had a great year last year. But the thing that he focused on was being at his best every day, and really he stepped up as a leader this offseason, and all the hard work that he's put in is showing up right now, which is something that you always love to see as a coach.
Yeah, and Tyreek Spikes ended up with 5 carries for 22 yards, spelling him a little bit as well. And then your quarterback, Alex Johnson, goes 20 of 30 for 218. Found the end zone once, had a couple interceptions, one notably early on in the game, but allowed you to see right away that your defense is going to be there to stand up for you when they were able to hold them. They got the ball in the red zone, and I think they ran 8 plays for 11 yards and were able to hold them to 3 points. So turnover, yes, early on, but the defense stood up and said, "Don't worry, Alex, we got your back today."
Yeah, the momentum shifted when that interception happened, and it was great to see our defense. We talk a lot about sudden change. Our defense went out and played lights. That was the first indication that they were going to have a great day. But they were excited coming off the field after holding them to a field goal, and I think the thing that I knew at that point was that they were ready to play, and they really were ready to play.
Another young man who's been having huge games day after day is Mr. Jalen Thomas. 6 catches, goes over 101 goes over 100 yards for 101 yards, and then, as we said, Ronald Blackman found the end zone. Joey Zalewski doing some good things for you, and Will Jackson Linkhart getting back in action. So getting a lot of good things from your receiving core led by Mr. Jalen Thomas.
Yeah, it's been great to be able to get the ball to a lot of different people. JT stepped up all year for us, and he's been our primary target, and I believe he leads the league in receptions, but he does a great job being the guy that's been the primary target. But the cool thing about our receiving core and our tight ends and our running backs is we're going to spread the ball around, and they all want to see each other succeed. So there's no egos in our wide receiver room, and it's a lot of fun to see those guys get excited when somebody else has a target.
There's nothing better than seeing somebody doing something special and seeing their group celebrate for them. I always love that stuff. Defensively, Kenny Bird led you in tackles with 8, followed by Darius Hillick and Chris Walton with 7, and Malik Baker, who you mentioned, had 6, and he also did a job keeping the ball out of the receiver's hands on the wide receiver core for Ohio Dominican. But your defense, as you said, played a fantastic job. Kenny Bird just happened to be the leading tackler on Saturday.
Kenny had a great game, as well as Darius, and we've already talked about Malik, but man, those guys came out and they played physical. We were flying around, and the other good thing, we talked about this last week, there was no one singular guy with 15 tackles like there has been for a few of our games. So when we're able to play team football and when we're able to play great defense, you see those numbers even out quite a bit. So we were happy to see that, and we're happy that we're able to keep guys fresh the whole game. So.
Take a look at some of the scoring plays from Saturday. Ronald Blackman got the Dragons on the board first in the second quarter, a 1-yard touchdown run. Ben Rudolph's kick was good, a 9-play, 64-yard drive, 4:18 off the clock, and your Dragons got your first lead on Saturday.
Down to 5. Alex has it, gives it to Ronald. Blackman, second effort, he's in. Touchdown, Dragons. 8-9.
Yeah, it was good to get some points going into half. We had a shot play that we thought we might have had, and unfortunately couldn't hang onto the ball. And then there was that we took 2. We threw the ball to Will Jackson Linkhart twice down there on the goal line, and ended up with an offensive PI. Got backed up, and right before half, big by Ben Rudolph to come in, and our PAT field goal team to come in and kick that that field goal in for 3 points.
Yeah, after a 13-play, 53-yard drive, 2 seconds on the clock, and coaches, we talk about all the time, scoring at the end of the half is a huge bonus as you move into the halftime. And then we mentioned, how Dominican gets the football, and Chucky Lewis makes a big play, a 21-yard interception return. Second week in a row, the Dragons able to pick off a pass and return it for 6 early on in the second half, and the Dragons now a 17-3 lead. You can see Chucky kind of eyeballing him, and he jumped that thing and just took it. Nobody's going to touch him.
Left or right. Has it. Fakes the handoff. Pass on the far side. Picked. And he's going to take it into the house.
It was a great play by Chucky. And again, we challenged ourselves to come out the second half ready to play. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, our ability to go in and make adjustments and then come out and play fast and physical.
Yeah, you guys were definitely ready to play in the second half. Dominant second half performance by the Dragons. Ronald Blackman again, this time on the receiving end from Alex Johnson. 21 yards out, 9 plays, 79 yards, 4:04 off the clock. And now in the third quarter, Dragons trying to stretch it out a little bit, up 24.
Wants to throw. Blitz coming, sets up the screen, has Ronald, makes the first man miss. He's got the 15, he's got the 10, he's got the 5, he's got the end zone.
Yeah, again, it goes back to what you prepare to do, and we want to play balanced football. That was a screen to Ron out of the backfield. His timing was good. The offensive line got out in front of him, and we were able to put another score in the end zone. And again, it made us feel like we accomplished what we set out to do, which is always, if we're not getting the ball after half, we want to come out and we want to get the first stop, which we did, for points, and then we want the offense to go out and score that first possession, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, offense and defense handling it for the Dragons, but then the special teams for how Dominican gets them back in the game. A 92-yard kickoff return, then a field goal gets it to 24-13. They're feeling pretty good after 3 quarters. Then Ronald Blackman goes a yard, 62-yarder, a 3-play, 64-yard drive, minute 43 off the clock to seal the deal for the Dragons. Ronald kind of shutting the door.
He's got the first down, he's got the 50, he's got the 40, the 30, 20, sideline, end zone, Ronald Blackman.
And it's hard to run the ball when everybody in the stadium knew what we were doing.
Right.
We were trying to run that clock down and possess the ball at the end, and we were in our 4-minute offensive mode, and it was great to see Ron cut one back and break one loose and put a little bit of gave us a breath of fresh air there at the end and a little sigh of relief, to be honest.
Well, the Dragons get the win and move to 4-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. Well, what about the game over in Findlay? Like 5.5 hours when you count the delays on Saturday. Well, those poor folks having to sit through that. But Ashland now sitting atop of the league. The Dragons tied with Findlay and Walsh now at second in the conference. And Walsh, the Dragons' opponent this week, Ohio Dominican after last week, falls to 7th in the conference. And Walsh and Tiffin, boy, it seems like every week kind of like the highlighted game in the GMAC is starting to involve the Dragons as we got 2 teams tied for second place going at it this week.
Yeah, we're excited to play Walsh this week, and we're heading over to their place, and it'll be a great game. Them sitting at 4-2 with their record, and we have the same record in our league. We're really excited to play the game, and they've done a great job. Just watching their film, they've got a great offensive identity, and they pose some problems defensively for you. So we're going to go out and we're going to play our best game.
It's a 12 noon kickoff at Larry South Field on the campus of Walsh in North Canton. Now, they used to play at the Hall of Fame Stadium, but now they're playing in an on-campus facility. We were actually the first game that they ever had at the on-campus facility there at Walsh, so a good time to be had for the Dragon fans. I'll be there as well on Saturday as a 12 noon kickoff. Boy, they won 2 in a row coming into this game. This past week at Hillsdale, an overtime thriller where they decided to go for 2 in that first overtime, a 36-35 win. And with our quarterback, T.C. Malk, 24 of 37, 321, a touchdown, a couple touchdowns on the ground as well. He sounds like he might be a handful.
Yeah, they played a great game against Hillsdale and hung in there. They came back late, and they really, it was awesome to see as you're watching the film. You see them claw their way back into the game. It says a lot about their team, and we're not taking that for granted. We are preparing hard for this team, and I think the thing that we've got to remember is they've got momentum coming to this game just like we do, and we're fired up to play them because again they've done a great job, and we're excited about what we've been able to do as well.
Just like the Dragons looking at this game as opportunity, I think Walsh is looking at this game as opportunity as well. You mentioned defense players having big numbers of tackles. Let's talk about the defensive player of the week this week for Walsh. Cam Hollowball, 23 tackles in their win against Hillsdale and forced a fumble. Talk a little bit about what Walsh likes to do on the defensive side.
Oh yeah, first of all, Cam was all over the field. He played a great game, and defensively they're going to present us with some challenges. We're going to have to identify what they're trying to do defensively, and we're going to have to attack what they give us. And ultimately, they're going to try to make it as hard as they possibly can, just like every other team does. So they did did a great job again against Hillsdale, and they caused a turnover late in the game and got themselves right back into it. Played good team football, which is what our goal always is as well. So we know that we're gonna have to come out and play disciplined, sound football against their defense.
Well, in the 2 games prior, the game prior to Walsh, they put up the highest point total in the conference, a 63-point total against Lake Erie, a 63-34 win. That's a lot of points on a Saturday afternoon. In the conference now, Walsh comes in as the #1 scoring offense at 37.7. Tiffin, number 3 in the conference at 28.8. Just that stat right there makes you think this could end up being a shootout.
Yeah, we're excited to play another top team in the conference. Last week Ohio Dominican had the #1 defense in the conference, and this week we're playing the #1 offense in the conference. So we're excited to do that, and our kids see it as a great challenge. And for us, it still goes back to our process, and it is still about us. We want to play our best possible game, and we're comfortable with the outcome when we do that. So
right.
we want to make sure that we're playing our best and practicing our best. And we've got a formidable opponent this week, and we're going to do our best to take care of business.
I mentioned the scoring offense, thinking it may be a shootout. Well, the Tiffin defense says, hold up a second, we're #1 in the conference now in total defense, only giving up 248 yards a game, while Walsh comes in 8th in the conference, giving up 380. But then you look at some more of the offensive numbers. I think both teams really look at this game as running the football first and foremost. They're the #1 rushing offense in the game. Tiffin #2. Tiffin the #1 rushing defense in the league. And then Walsh at #6. So it sounds like running the football is going to be, it's important in every single football game, but seems like something both teams are pointing at this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game, and you look at their offense. They have a great scheme, and they're creative. They're able to run the football. They've been able to run the football against everybody that they've played.
Right.
So our job is to go out and prevent them from doing that, and we're excited for that task.
Both teams very opportunistic defensively as well, as they are #1 in the conference with interceptions. Tiffin right there with them, and they're also #1 in forced. We're #1 in interceptions. They're right there with us. They're #1 in forced fumbles. My notes are too scratchy here for me to read, but seems like, am I right though, that both teams are very opportunistic? Very similar to the Dragons when you look at the defensive side.
Yeah, I think the thing that you see is when you see a team come away with turnovers and then turn that into points, that's good team football, and that's a big focus for us. And I've talked a lot about that. I feel like we've done that the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Our job will be to build on that for this third week and to play well in each phase. Offense, defense, special teams got to be clicking. That's something they've been able to do as well in the last few weeks, and it resulted in a big win for them against Hillsdale. So that's honestly what it's going to come down to as we get to the second half of the season, is who is able to continue to build and grow as a team, and that's the big challenge for us.
You mentioned Jalen Thomas. He is leading the conference at 98 yards per game, and Ronald Blackman, #1 in scoring, keeps getting 3 touchdowns a game. That'll keep going up, averaging 11 points per game. Dragons with just 4 games left here. We got 2 home games against Lake Erie and Findlay. We got a couple of road games left against Kentucky Wesleyan and Hillsdale after this weekend. So it really is stretch time. And, the little fall break just happened here. Give everybody a chance to take a breath, and kind of reflect on their classes, see where they're at, and then give them a chance to reflect on football and see what we need to do to finish real strong here, a final handful of games.
Yeah, it was fall break from classes on Monday and Tuesday, but we went right back to work.
Certainly, yeah.
It was nice to not have to go to class for our guys as they were preparing, but we're excited for this second half of the season, and again, our push it's all about how good we can be and how well we can play as a team. That's our focus, and it will continue to be our focus down the stretch.
It's cool to see how the kids get better each week, and then each year as they get older. And then coaches get older. And somebody happened to tell me a little while ago that might be somebody's birthday today. You probably aren't going to see this on the day, but as we're recording, is today your birthday?
Yeah, today's my birthday.
You thank Grant Woodfin for that one.
Oh, that's great. So no, I'm happy to be able to coach football today, and I told the guys I'm fired up that we get to go out and practice here in a few minutes. So
well, happy birthday to you. Hopefully after practice you get to spend some time with the family and enjoy it for what it is, and then get right back to it tomorrow.
That's right.
All right, this Saturday the Dragons on the road at Walsh. Just give us a few words to tell the folks what they're going to see from your club this weekend.
Yeah, not hopefully. You're going to see a team that continues to work as a team. 11 is one, something that we've been talking a lot about, and each phase doing their job. So you're going to see us play complementary football. You're going to see us go out and attack mode, and we're excited to get back on the field and continue on this journey that we've been on.
Walsh will have the video coverage. I'll have the radio coverage for you on the TU Dragon Football Radio Network. The video will be on the GMAC Digital Network as well. So, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and plan on coming down and maybe getting a few words from you on the field before the kickoff there on Saturday. But we'll see you then, and we'll see you before.
Sounds great. Thanks, Russ.
All right, noon kickoff this Saturday. This has been our look at Tiffin University Dragon Football.